Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the second week in March. And what I'm going to be covering is March 8th through the 14th. Day by day, wherever the moon is going to be telling me what we can be expecting and where we're headed relative to where all the other planets, aspects, and conjunctions occur based on where they are from the moon. Remember, the moon is how we feel, and it's the masses of people. That's why it's so important to take note and be cognizant of where the moon is every day in order to make better plans in our life. And also remember, I am talking from Dallas, Texas, so I am using the location as my time zone, Central Standard Time. It's fun for you to tell me where you're listening from down in the comments. So let's start with Sunday, March 8th. And we have the moon in Libra. It is in the nakshatra Vishaka. And Libra is all about balance, trying to find connection to people, trying to find peace, even though we've got some intense things happening that are heating up in the sky with Mercury retrograde and Mars Rahu. This is a crazy time. But looking at this, the nakshatra Vishaka is the symbol is a triumphal archway. So it's about triumph and conquest and success. It's about achieving. So this moon stands alone from all the planets, all away. So it is isolated. So we kind of feel isolated. And ever since Mars went into Aquarius, we have the Kala Sarpa Yoga, but it's said to be broken with the moon going outside the axes of Rahu and Ketu. But still, we've got the moon is in a lovely grand trine with Mars, Rahu, Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter. So Jupiter's in Gemini and the others are in Aquarius, while the moon sits in Libra, all in air signs. This is about communications and getting things across to people. But you got to be careful with Mercury retrograde. Now, on this day of the 8th, we actually have Venus exactly conjunct Saturn. And many times this can make us feel kind of alone, not heard, not connected to other people, especially when it comes to love and romance. And you just got to make an extra effort to connect with others. And not only that, they're actually placed in the 6th house from the moon. So you got to struggle to make things work when it comes to relationships. But overall, this is a good day for business communications because of the trine. Just be aware that we've got Mercury retrograde and you've got to be more careful about people hearing you and understanding you more than anything. Okay, so now I'm moving to Monday, March 9th. And here the moon has shifted into Scorpio. And it is still isolated away from all the other planets. It's in the nakshatra called Anuradha, which is the best of the Scorpio nakshatras. It deals with friendship, togetherness, helping people, helping others. It really does. And with the moon being here, we have the Mars, Mercury, Sun in the 4th house. There's a bit of a building of not feeling secure. Things seem a little heated during this time. So be aware that this is kind of a difficult time period. Things are starting to feel unsafe. And this is dealing with our home, with family. Things are getting a little weird. Let me put it that way. And the moon actually sits in Well, it sits at the midpoint of Rahu and Ketu. So we're starting to feel this karmic thing going on, this destiny thing that needs to be looked at deeper. How are you feeling within? That's what I want you to question and go with your gut. You have the power to know what's really going on. Okay, so looking at this day as well, Mercury is, believe it or not, in a trine to Jupiter. So even though Mercury retrograde causes all sorts of screw-ups with travel, this would be one of the days that stands out where things could be easier than the others, which isn't saying a whole lot, but people would tend to understand you better. And remember, with Mercury retrograde, it is time to go back and review things, reflect, review, reassess, and this will help you out tremendously for the future. Now, the moon it's been since the lunar eclipse, it's in a waning phase. It's getting less and less light to the moon. So right now, while it's in Scorpio, Scorpio is debilitated. So people are a little bit over the top during this time. Now, I just moved it to March 10th. And the moon is still in Scorpio all day, and it's shifted into the nakshatra now, Jyesta. That's a tough one. That's a tough nakshatra. And during this day, all the way till the late wee hours of the morning to the next day, the moon is going to go into its Gandanta phase. In other words, the last part of Scorpio, which means people can be out of control. Even this nakshatra means people are out of control. And Jyesta does deal specifically with jealousy, so be aware. You're going to feel the pains of jealousy coming at you. Just don't let it affect you. It has nothing to do with you. It just tells you have something that others want. Not that that makes good friendships come along, but it's not your problem. That's what I'm trying to say. But we're starting to feel a sense of things are starting not to feel as safe in the world with this moon here. And things are heating up. Anger is starting to spew as Mars gets closer and closer to Rahu. This is some intense energy building right now as I speak. And let's see. Let's go to, this is March 11th, a Wednesday. I especially like this day already just because Jupiter is now direct. And it's been stationing the whole month, meaning slowing down. It's not moving hardly at all. It's been at 20 degrees ever since the beginning of the month, and well, most of the month. So Jupiter is all powerful now. And now that it's moving direct, makes things start to happen quicker. You can get the job done quicker. This is what this is about. And another thing is Mars and Rahu are almost exactly together. So things are heating up. They're in the nakshatra. This is Mars, Rahu, Mercury. They're all in Shatabishak, and that's treacherous. But going back to where the moon is in the nakshatra Mula. And Mula can deal with destruction. So this is a very difficult placement for the moon. Deals with destruction, can deal with calamity, can deal with a little bit of self-destructive tendencies too. So watch yourself. But one thing I will say is Jupiter is opposing it, but it's still not in a good place. It's actually Gandanta most of the day because it is the late degrees of water and the early degrees of fire that it's Gandanta. And it's 2 degrees, the moon is 2 degrees of Sagittarius. As I look here around close to 4 p.m. Dallas time. So most of this day, the moon is Gandanta, meaning out of control. People's minds are out of control. So I just got to say, lay low, and there may be some issues or problems with traveling on this day, traveling for people, because Mercury, Rahu, Sun, Mars are in the third house from the moon. Third represents movement, travel. Take it easy. There can be breakdowns with equipment, with their car, that kind of stuff happening. Be aware. Now let's move to Thursday. This is March 12th. And on this day, the moon is still in Sagittarius. But it is in a much better nakshatra. It's in Purva Ashada. And this nakshatra is ruled by Venus, so it's much lighter, even though it is what I call the truth-seeking nakshatra. It's all about finding truth. Jupiter is aspecting the moon, giving it some benevolence, so things feel better today, but I still don't like that Mars Rahu coming together, third from the moon. Be careful when traveling. Make sure your car is serviced around this time. And for the most part, when you travel, when you drive, you got to watch out for other people. You can be the best of drivers, but you got to watch out. This is a day where things are starting to really heat up for sure, this whole week and next week. Those are the time periods I want you to lay low and be careful with this Mercury retrograde. Now I'm looking at Friday the 13th. I don't know if you have any qualms about Friday the 13th, but this is this day. It's what you make of it. It's what you believe as to whether or not that's going to be a good day or a difficult day. The moon is opposed Jupiter, and it's still in Sagittarius all day, and it is in the nakshatra still, Purvashada, but it will soon be, yes, in Uttarashada, and it will change right around 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So Uttarashada is much like Purvashada. They deal with finding truth more than anything, and they deal with justice. So there's something going on in the world that people feel needs justice at this time. Boy, there's been a lot of things, but this is a time where people are going to be even more adamant about justice and truth and finding out and dealing with what is right. So important. Okay, so still all in all, I'm having issues with travel on this day. So I want you to be extra, extra careful. And I've also got, yeah, this is the day. This is the day it all comes together. So this is the 13th, Friday the 13th, go figure. Mars is conjunct Rahu. That is treacherous at 14 degrees of Aquarius, and it's right there next to Mercury at 16 degrees. Be careful of all travels. Travel by air, travel by car, lay low. Remember, this is going to have some major problems. The sun is even in the very last degree of Aquarius, so it's about to shift. And that means everything's about to shift today. And another thing, let's see. Venus is in a very difficult position from K2. So even in the area of love and romance, looks like people will be at odds, they'll be fighting, there's anger, there's rage, there's frustration, both this day and tomorrow, while Mars and Rahu are exactly conjunct. They're together in the nakshatra that is ruled by Rahu. So they're so intense. And they're even Virgotama because did you know the middle, very middle of a fixed sign is always Virgotama? So 14, 15 degrees of Aquarius, boom. It's so extreme and ruled by Rahu. So this cannot be more intense. I don't know what else to say. This is, you will feel the energy. Yes, you will. Let me go. I just moved to March 14th, and Mars is actually, they're still less than a degree apart. Mars has moved to 15 degrees, exactly in the middle of Aquarius, with Rahu. And Mercury's backing up to be with them. How do you like that? Mercury, Mars. People will be arguing. People are not okay with a difference of opinion. So keep your mouth shut. That's the best thing to do because this Mars, Rahu, Mercury sit in the second house from the moon, which deals with your voice and your speech. Be careful what you say. Try not to use your voice. You're going to be enraged and angry. Too bad. Be quiet with your voice. You don't need to make an opinion that's just going, it's not going to be taken well. You don't need to fight and argue with this kind of intense energy that promotes it all the more. People are going to be angry. There's going to be blow-ups. There's going to be extremes. Both March 13th and 14th. Woo! Angry people. Lay low. And there could be attacks and war those 2 days. Let me tell you. Let's go and move to, yes. So I have just finished the 14th Saturday. This is the end of the second week. So with that, I'm going to close right now. Remember, if you want to learn more about me, you can always go to my website. Go to galacticcenter.org. And remember, if you want to know how these planets are going to affect you personally, you need my planner. Try it out. It's a galacticplanner.com. It's going to give you your predictions based on your planets in your chart. So important to get that guidance. Thank you.